What if Zoo's biggest twist wasn't in the script, but hidden in a single frame? Today, we're exposing the secret even the director tried to bury. The movie opens with John and Karen, a married couple who barely get along. They eat in separate rooms and only come together to watch TV. One evening, they hear news about a strange virus spreading rapidly around the world. John believes it's a hoax created by pharmaceutical companies to profit off fear, but Karen dismisses his theory as nonsense. Frustrated, John storms out, leaving Karen to plan to talk to him in the morning. When John wakes up, he discovers a large hole in the bathroom wall. Confused, he runs outside to investigate, ignoring Karen's call for him to stay. To his shock, he finds that a plane crashed into their building during the night. Although nearby apartments were destroyed, theirs miraculously survived. Soon after, news breaks that the virus is spreading quickly, and people are advised to stay indoors. John tells Karen, who doesn't believe him until sirens blare outside. They look out the window and see people turning into zombies, attacking others in a frenzy. Panicking, they turn on the TV, where a reporter warns that survival depends on staying inside. Karen rushes to the kitchen to check their food supply and realizes they only have enough for a day or two. John becomes so anxious that he starts vomiting. Trying to calm him, Karen suggests they steal food from nearby apartments, arguing that survival isn't theft. Reluctantly, John agrees and goes out, returning with a large haul from a vacant apartment across the hall. Encouraged, Karen decides to go next. Though scared, she tapes knives to her arms and legs for protection and returns with more supplies. Soon, they even steal their neighbor's television to stay entertained. On the news, they learn that this is the final broadcast. The channels are shutting down, though updates will continue over the radio. They also receive instructions to mark a cross on their windows to signal rescue. John and Karen make a big X, but even after helicopters pass nearby, no one notices them. Days later, John finds that Karen has stolen unnecessary things like designer clothes, which annoys him. He insists they return everything once the pandemic ends. That time passes. The sound of zombies fills their building, and fear sets in. They barricade the doors and gather weapons. Knives, scissors, hammers, anything they can use to defend themselves. John even shows Karen how to make a flamethrower using a lighter and a spray can, while she teaches him tricks for self-defense. They kill time playing cards until a radio announcement brings hope. The outbreak is limited to a few regions, and rescue teams will soon arrive. But their rescue never comes. Trying to stay positive, John comforts Karen, who begins drinking to cope with her depression. He learns she's been struggling since the death of their daughter, who died at birth, and the trauma that left her unable to have children to distract themselves. They start exercising and training to fight zombies. One day, a loud knock on their door makes them think help has arrived, but it's zombies trying to break in. They manage to push them out after a tense struggle. The radio later announces that scientists are developing a vaccine, giving them a bit of hope. But the anxiety continues. Karen brings out the drugs she had stolen, and despite John's protest, they both take them to calm their nerves. Their days blur together with cigarettes, alcohol, and occasional panic. One morning, John accidentally breaks a cherished vase while practicing with his gun. Karen, furious and exhausted, sees helicopters pass again without stopping to dress builds. John insists they keep training. They set traps and make homemade explosives for protection. But another knock at the door changes everything. It's their neighbors, Emily and her husband, who survived by hiding after the plane crash. They ask for help, starving and desperate. John lets them in despite Karen's protest. Tension quickly rises when Emily recognizes her stolen clothes and TV, realizing Karen had taken them. Humiliated, Karen allows them to stay but forces them to do chores. That night, she secretly spikes their food with drugs to make them sleep, but the overdose kills them. Panicked, John and Karen plan to dispose of the bodies, only for the couple to reawaken as zombies. Karen shoots them both, and they throw the corpses outside. Days later, the two grow close again, realizing they've rediscovered their bond through the chaos. Karen cancels her plans for divorce, and they promise to adopt a child once the world returns to normal. John decorates their home for a candlelit dinner, But just as they begin to enjoy it, there's another knock. Believing it's the military, they open the door, only to be ambushed by armed looters posing as soldiers. The leader assaults John and attacks Karen, but she fights back, stabbing him in the neck with scissors. When his men rush in, John shoots them both. Afterward, they throw the bodies out and drink to calm their nerves. Soon after, they hear real helicopters outside. They try to signal for help, but the noise drowns them out. When they open their door to escape, a horde of zombies blocks their way. During the fight, zombie blood splashes onto John, infecting him. As the helicopters leave again, Karen begins to panic. They're trapped with no food or water. John promises to find something for her, stays up late sharpening wooden sticks. When Karen insists on going too, they leave together but are forced to retreat after a violent encounter with zombies. Back home, Karen realizes she's been bitten. Terrified, she tells John she's turning. He comforts her, saying a vaccine is on the way. Soon, her cravings grow uncontrollable. Food disgusts her, and she starts craving blood. To comfort her, John cuts his hand and offers her his blood, which she drinks. Horrified yet devoted, John promises to keep helping her until help arrives. But Karen can't bear it. She writes a note thanking him for giving her the best life possible and locks herself in their daughter's nursery. John finds her turned into a zombie, wearing a note that says, "Love me or kill me." Unable to shoot her, he chooses to stay with her, letting himself be infected too. When the military finally arrives, they find the couple together, both turned into zombies. Following protocol, the soldiers shoot them on sight. The movie ends with their tragic love story. Two people who couldn't survive the world's end, but refused to leave each other behind. In that single hidden frame, the camera briefly shows a reflection of one of the supposed survivors with the infected, hinting that he was never human to begin with. It's a quiet clue that flips the story's meaning. The virus didn't just spread among animals. It had already taken over the people we trusted most. So, genius twist or total nonsense? Fight it out below. And if you spotted a detail we missed, drop it in the comments. Prove us wrong. Be subscribed to enjoy more movies. Our next recap will blow your skirt up.